I'm here.
Okay, there she is.
I'm here. I'm just
We're here. We're just a couple minutes late because we've been trying. We had some tech support problems, and fortunately, tech support was here. So Sheila's doing a good job of setting it up so you can watch her work with her garden too.
hopefully we can get that done.
Yes, I don't see anybody in the chat yet, so we're just talking to each other. That's fine.
I don't know if that is there.
Okay.
I want you to stop coming off every time I try to get you to do something.
Yes. Those little roly ball things.
It's like, oh my gosh. Every step of the way is
Another
a
trial.
chore, another
Oh, we've
day.
got Angelita's here and Terry is here.
Ah,
So we got five actually. Ooh, we got more. Tammy's here. Tammy has a question for us. Sheila has watched some of my shows and she's aware. Now you see it's a little different. Sheila's where my board usually is, where the garden usually is. I have it set up so I can flip down to the garden if I have to. Also, the garden is on display on the screen all the time, but that's not a live garden. That's just a picture of it for those of you who don't know what we're talking about. I don't know how you could not. I've been doing this for 25 days, guys. Um, and as you know, I want to first of all welcome Sheila, who's been madly
Hi.
getting herself tech supported. She is her own tech support, so
I'll tell you what.
it's a new
Which,
learning
which
curve.
yeah, which can be funny and sad all at the same time.
or it can mean a very dark screen for the people who think they're watching this.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm just trying to work with my phone
Oh,
here.
Helene, who just got her garden this week, she's getting ready to set hers up. So we're kind of moving right along, and I see my shiny face on your phone there. Okay, so what we're going to start with, besides thanking Sheila, yay for being here, applause, and coming to play with us in the garden, we're going to start as we usually do with our crystal of the day. And today it's a really good stone. It's a good stone that reminds me a whole lot of Sheila. It's almost as red as her hair was when she was younger.
It's true.
It's Sunstone. It's empowerment. It has to do with their solar plexus, but it's a great stone for today. And when we get to I did channel in one of the last parts of the garden last night, and this fits it perfectly. Connects the energy of the divine to all things, awakens self-empowerment, creating strength and courage, enhances leadership qualities and ability to listen to your higher guidance, dissolves frustration from your life.
Ooh.
Wow. Activates rebirth and facilitates transformation, and that's the Sunstone, and it's a beautiful stone.
Thank you.
And it comes into your world when it's opening the next part of your journey. So I'm kind of hoping I'm going to get an next part to my journey. It's not that I don't like filtering things, but I'm tired of channeling all night. And as you can see, Sheila has done a beautiful job of displaying her.
It's not full, but it's at least enough, I think.
It's enough you can point it out, and then they've got the
Yeah.
reference on the screen too if they're really going to get that picky. I don't find them to be that picky. I was explaining to Sheila yesterday about what we did yesterday about keys. I have 10 of them here, but I'm only going to give away 3 of them to go, and I will send along with them the explanation of how to use a key. And for those of you who were not here yesterday, what you do with a key is you find any old key in your house. These I happen to get because I was going to do this, and I got a pack of 10 of them for $7 off Amazon. I'm not breaking the bank getting these 2 guys, but these are cute.
You didn't say bragging the bank.
I'm not breaking my bank.
Oh, breaking! I thought you said bragging the bank. I'm like, I've never heard that.
No, I don't brag about my bank either. It's not that much, but the keys are ways you open up, and what you do is you program them just like you program a crystal. You hold it in your hand, and you say, "This key is opening the door," and then whatever door you want opened, you visualize yourself with what you finally want to have. the end conclusion. You open the door, and then when you can ask your guides to help you with it, you can just feel the energy. The more you can feel, really just feel yourself. It's like Meister Eckhart says in my garden, when my soul wants something, it opens the door and walks into it. That's what you're doing. You're opening that door with this key to walk into it. I'm going to give away 3 of those keys. The way to get the keys, and Tammy's already put little key icons on my chat. The way to get the keys is go to my email, which is the world's longest email. It's crystal directions.
I don't know, the way of positive change. I don't know.
No, I'm worse. Crystal directions with an S .nancyjean@gmail.com. I rival. If you send me an email there and just put keys in the subject, you don't have to put anything else. If you want to put your home address, that helps. Then I don't have to reach you later and say, I'll send it to you, but where?
Do I just send it to you? Do I just send it to Arkansas and put your name on it? Does it still work that way?
No, I do have some followers in Arkansas, and I have a couple grid owners in Arkansas. Oh, and I'm getting love from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. San Juan, I do believe, is where she lives. Anyway, hello, Vivian. Everybody say hi to Vivian. As you know, in my book, there's going to be a page, Vivian Says. And if Vivian says it, we do it, because Vivian said to do it. So I've got my stone today was the Sunstone, which is a really cool stone. The giveaway. And now I'm going to quickly go over. If I don't do things in the right order, I'm too old to change. So
I get you. And I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
No, she's getting prepped over there, guys. She already did a show this morning, and she's doing this now. So
yeah.
I got higher consciousness, which is the crown chakra. And when I woke up in this dream, I was on top of a hill, green, luscious ground covering. It wasn't really grass, it was just ground covering. Wind swirls around you, but then I realized it's not wind, it's just energy. It's light, it's very bright, very enlightening. Ha ha ha, put that in quotes. There are no structures here, just the big sky above and the ground below, an easily traversed ground below my feet. And it has such a feeling of openness. Nothing's hidden. The movement in your senses is like gorgeous and profound vibrations that go through every cell of your body. It's as if you are an antenna collecting the waves, like those antenna farms. I don't know if they have those in Colorado, but in Texas we have the highest hill. They put all the antennas on it for the broadcasting. And
we have mountains. Would they do that with?
Well, most people use satellites now, but there used to be these antenna farms, and we're like those antennas on the top of those hills. Your being can cast out as well as receive signals. The interactions are just seamless, vast, amazing, and effortless. We are all vessels and are open. We vibrate with the brilliance of the light. Accept this energy, this frequency, this vibration in all harmony. Tune in the whole enormous sky. I ended up here with my face looking up to the sky, with my palms outward and my feet perfectly balanced, effortlessly tuned in and silent.
Oh.
So that's when you go, that's what that spot means on the board, which means it's that kind of effortless movement of energy. Whatever stone's in there, whatever. If it's clarity, you're getting effortless clarity. If it's your body's just in tune with everything that's going on around you.
Remind me again which one it was again?
That's a higher consciousness.
The higher consciousness.
The crown chakra, enlightenment.
The crown chakra, there it is. Okay.
See, and so that's where I have this lovely flower that was made by a friend's wife, and it's the fickle flower of fate, and it lends up on the spot on my board normally when people can see my board. So I'm really hyped about higher consciousness. I have one space left that I have to dream about, and I'm really excited because it's a tree of life, ultimate harmony. So I'm really, really excited about that. And today I rolled, dun, 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 this is my garden. I rolled, how's the show going to go today? And it's that our mind and our third eye are just totally focused on the path forward. Values from the future are what we're going to bring enlightenment to today. We have a little problem here with spirit. Spirit says be very careful when you're listening to spirit and don't inject yourself in it. Let spirit do its thing. And then I have my body in earth, which means I'm embodying my changes and clarity is moving forward. It's moving in the air. So that says to me that we're going to have a good show today, kid.
Oh, good.
So did you want to roll something? Or we can go to
I can definitely roll a beginning for us.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to help me with the colors. And
Okay.
which is which. So
Okay.
which one was this one?
If it's yellow, it's your mind.
The mind was in present. So that's good. And
That's
then what
very
is this one?
grounded. That's very good.
Which one was this one?
That's your pyrite. That's grounding.
Grounding. So the third eye. So both of them are was my mind was in present, and my what did you say the second one was?
Your third eye means it's bringing in it. All of the visions you're going to have too are about abundance, manifesting
Abundance and manifesting today.
What?
And
Tech support just checked in.
hi, tech support. And so this one, what is it? Which one is this one?
Is it blue or green?
This is the green.
Okay, that's your fusite. That's your body, and it's in
My body is in heart.
Oh, that's physical form will bring you the freedom of your heart.
Freedom of my heart. And then I have the purple, and I have both. Actually, both of these are the purple.
Okay.
They're both in fire.
Okay, that means that's past life stuff.
That's past life stuff is in fire.
Yeah, the south is either things that have happened in this life, patterns from this life, or it is past life. It's karmic, and you just kind of have to decide which way, how it reads. But the two you have there say that spirit transforms your thinking, and be sure that all your thoughts are clear.
Yeah. If this is relates to also me from the day, this makes sense because this is the energy, and this is what I'm dealing with today is the past life and karmic and family issues and stuff like that.
That's
so that
right.
Makes
That's
sense. The reason
families,
why these are
right.
And
what it says is your values are going to come forward. Your mind is clear about the mind. The yellow one means that your mind, the calcite means your mind is clear about it, and the heart says that you're grounded in your heart thinking. So that's going to mean it's going to be clear. That's heart is also throat, which means communication.
Fantastic. So and also I think that it relates to anybody who is also in the chat can relate to any and all of this stuff. That the reason why they're here and they're coming along with us. This is
That's
probably
right.
a lot of people in the chat are also dealing with current family issues.
That's
I think
true.
I think this is the energy that most of us are dealing with right now.
Right.
So there you go.
Okay, I had a question.
Okay.
I had a person, and I've rolled for her a couple times, and she keeps getting this stone that's a fusite. That's the sort of greeny looking stone, okay?
The green one, this one right here?
She keeps getting it that she's embodying her past and she's changing. That means she's moved forward to change. She said, when you say I'm making physical changes, I don't remember what other stones were on the reading with her, but when you get fusite, the reason I picked fusite is this stone is actually part of the elementals, the fairies and things like this stone. So it's something that's very grounded, very much touching this earth, very much what our bodies mean to us. That's our earthly bound form that our soul lives in. So what it means is your body probably, one of the things I do is if I get a sudden pain out of like nowhere, I breathe in slowly, send my breath to that point and say what thought is awakening in me. You know, there's a whole massage thing called rolfing, and when they rolf you, they go into intermuscular tissues. It's very painful, and I've had friends who've had it done, and they said they would sit there, and childhood traumas that they had totally forgotten would be woken up and brought out of those tissues and released, and they could move on. And I had a friend who was in her late 60s at the time, and she really wanted to garden again, but her whole body had gotten kind of locked up. She did a year of rolfing, and she was out there like a 20-year-old gardening. All that stagnant unrecognized negative energy got cleaned out of her body. You can do that yourself also by breathing into pain when it appears. If you ignore the pain or put an aspirin on it and
Yeah.
don't deal with it, then it's just going to continue to follow along with you. So that's bad thinking, good thinking. So we get rid of the bad thinking, go to the good thinking. So physical changes that are coming to you, because I know you're wakening up and you're having a lot of issues about becoming more psychic.
Yes. Well, yeah, the thing about that is I've had a lot of family trauma. I'm not going to go into the details. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has horror stories, and so do I.
Mm-hmm.
And with my mother having dementia at this point in time, you see, I've had to literally grieve with her physical body being here,
Right.
that she is gone. So, and there's a lot more to the story that nobody wants to hear, let me tell you. But the thing about that is now I am working through each and every single one of my tissues, everything,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that I have, my memories, my thoughts, and everything, to work through that, because I want the slate to be clean when she does, her body does physically leave. And that is my journey, is to make sure that my side, everything is physically as clean as I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure there's probably a kernel somewhere in some cabinet somewhere in the back of my mind that I haven't forgotten about. But that's exactly where I am at with the body and stuff like that. So this is the journey that I'm on today.
Yeah,
Currently.
well,
So that's
Lionsgate
fine.
is, we just went through Lionsgate, and it's a time to shed limitations, shed the fears,
Yeah.
shed the excess energy that we drag along with us from other people. Um,
And I think that it's a lot to do with. I mean, I've heard a lot of people that I do readings on. They're also going through the same thing.
yeah,
You know, that question. Well, what about my parents? My parents were like this. What about my family? What about my sisters? What about my brothers and sisters and all of that? And I think this is where we're coming to our own, to going is separating ourselves from that, being tied up in that family dynamics.
yep.
I think.
That's kind of, I agree. I have another person who you and I can both address what she's talking about. She said, "How do I know if my third eye is opening?"
Oh.
Do you
For
remember?
one, I do. I remember when my third eye, I had a headache for quite some time. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like an inside headache. It was like a exterior, like I would feel like a headache. Like it was just, and this is not really where it's really, really at, but this is where it started, and my brain just started activating, and I would rub my forehead constantly, constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was my physical
Mm-hmm.
affirmation that something was going on. My emotional um, information was that all of a sudden I'm knowing stuff that I didn't, if nobody's told me anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I know exactly what's going on. And I started getting these information, these downloads and stuff like that. And so I started paying attention to that. Another thing that I realized that I was doing, especially in the beginning, was I'd be driving along, Sheila, turn. I'm like, I don't want to turn, that's on my way. And Sheila, turn. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fine, right?
Yeah,
At
you
some point
start
in
you
time you
start
go,
saying, "Okay,
fine,
I'll give you a test. I'll turn."
yeah, and I turn, and then come to find out there were, either an accident or something that happened in my path that somebody was, telling me to turn. And so these are the
Mm-hmm.
things that slowly, but I had a hard time speaking about it with any of my friends, because not many of them, well, some of them, but not many of them were into metaphysical.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt, and when you start feeling like you're crazy and aware, that's probably where you're at.
It's true. That's You got all of them. Foresight and synchronicities. You got heightened sense of self-awareness, a heightened sense of your own body. All of a
Yes.
sudden, you're really aware of what you're putting in your body. A lot of people
Yes.
will go
Oh,
vegan and
goodness.
other things. I mean, I'm not going vegan, kids, um, but the sensitive to light. I know there was a period of time when I started doing readings all the time that I had a great sensitivity to light. Of course, I'm in Texas, it's brighter than you can imagine, but I wasn't that way before. And pressure between your eyebrows and hidden headaches. Those are all
Wow.
kind of the things. And the other one is, if you haven't looked it up, it's called the pineal gland, Pineal. I spell everything. Um, the pineal gland, it's in the base of the brain, and they know when they test people and they're changing their sense of consciousness, that area of the brain fires up. So that's what's wakening up. That's why it's kind of it's kind of going right through your head out there. So there's real things behind this. I mean, I don't care if scientists can measure what we do. I really don't. I know if they put little caps on us, they can see our right and left brains shift. But, if that makes them happy, fine. But that's,
Right.
So for the lady who asked about third eye opening, now you've had two of us.
And the other third eye opening was this too, was when I was dealing with other people, I had the extreme ability to pause before I answered anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. I'm like, okay, because I need to be able to, and I was so self-aware that I am waiting for the information through spirit before I answer you. I don't just fire back anymore. And that was another thing that you were talking about in that list, was that
That's
self-awareness.
Right, your self-awareness and and being aware of yourself, which means listening to yourself. Yesterday I was going on with someone because she said, "How do you just know? You keep talking about how you know." And I think the word know, that's the right term for it, but it's what it is. It's not just know, but it's trust.
Trust, yeah.
Trust
Trust in the knowings that are coming to you.
That's right.
Right.
It's so nice to have someone else. It's so nice to talk to someone that's real. I mean, all people in the chat are absolutely wonderful.
Thank you for letting me come on.
Okay,
With me having a political channel, I very rarely get to have these deep spiritual conversations. So I appreciate being able to do that.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. I had someone ask about a career change. I don't know exactly, you know who you were, but there's a lot of people shifting around. So we're going to roll a career change. Sheila, you can roll yours, I'll roll mine.
Okay.
And we'll see what we get.
Do we have a name perhaps? No name?
No. I didn't write down names. I just wrote, this person put it in the community page. I'm looking at a career change. So we're just going to go, this lovely lady who put her comment so nicely in my community page, what about your career change? Definitely this fall, and I'll tell you why. If you rolled yours, okay.
I have rolled mine.
And you got
Earth.
I got mind. I got earth and mind. You got the same one. We got the same stones next to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
We do.
It's going to come through for you this fall. You need to value yourself more when you're looking at this job. You need to look for the next bigger job up. It's going to be something that your spirit's been leading you to. It recently became clear to you, because this is right in the present. Clarity's in the present. You got a real clear idea that you could go for this. And it's actually, since you have your body in fire, which is south, it's a job that you're melding in a job you had one other time, okay? So what I see is, and your mind is perfectly suited to this, and it's going to be a place where you can really grow. Now, I know you have the mind and over here on earth like I did. What other stones do you have?
I have the
Spirit.
This is spirit, body, and mind, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I have spirit pointing to the third eye, and I also have, which one is this one? I could look it up.
That's the amethyst.
The amethyst is in third eye.
Okay.
So I have it pointing towards the amethyst in the third eye. So I have it actually a lineup, and this is kind of intuitively. And then I have this one. Which one is this one?
That's your clarity. That's your body. Is that body or fuse side? Oh no,
this is purple.
That's
or blue.
That's sodalite. That's your clarity.
Clarity. So crown. So that makes sense. It's in the crown chakra. So if I was going to give her a reading about her new job, the reason why she really wants a new job is because she feels like it's like, I no longer belong here. Mm-hmm. And she knows it from inside out. She no longer belongs, because her enlightenment is she has outgrown this job. She has outgrown the spirituality of this job, and her third eye is awakening, and she really feels the lowest of the lowest energy, that when she goes to work, she just goes, I don't belong here anymore, because of her growth, because of everything is going on. So she is hitting the pavement, which that means her body's in the earth. She's hitting the pavement. She's doing what she needs to do for the earthly earthly experience. And I think that, yes, she is going to be getting into a new job. She just needs to sit back and do, since she is already in spirit leaving, she needs to get into spirit to move
This
forward as
lady's
well.
she's in the room right now. Her name is
Uh-huh.
Letitia. She's the
Letitia.
one who, yes.
Yeah, Letitia. So Letitia, I recommend that when you to do this profound movement that you're going to into the, I suggest that you treat it as a spiritual move, like meditation. Ask for spirit to help you, give you guidance and the tools and everything that you need. Jump into that realm before you make a huge move, because you're spiritually moving out of the old one, and you're going to need spirit's help to move into the one that is going to fit your growth at this point in time.
Did you have
each one of your?
Did you have amethyst in the third eye? Is that what you said? Because I do too.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
amethyst in the third eye.
That means that she's already, the synchronicities are being laid out for her.
Correct. So she just, yes, so that she can pay attention, so she can see that. A lot of times when we get into our physical movement of a job, because that's our life, that's our lively earthly things that we do, we forget to pay attention to those synchronicities. And if she starts meditating and sinking her teeth into her spirituality side, all of a sudden the path will just light up just like the yellow brick road for her.
Okay. I wasn't diving out on you guys. One of my crystals fell on the floor. I had to pick it up.
Mine too. Which
They
one
do
fell
that.
on the floor?
They do that.
Mine just jumped off.
Yeah, they'll bounce off. But that's why we don't do
you
political
going?
questions. When we do political questions on this, the mind just drops off the board.
Drops off, yeah. It does.
Someone asked me about COVID. Do you want to do a rolling? And what her question is COVID bringing the massive changes that our civilization needs? In other words, with so many people departing the earth and leaving more space, but what kind of a total cleansing is this for all of us? That was the nature.
The old idea is leaving the earth.
Right. Oh yeah. And we're going to be much more settled this winter about how to deal with it, but and it's going to be hard for us to trust and come out. I think by December, a lot of the problems we're having right now will be covered. You've got yours.
I literally have every one of mine has ended up like this crown chakra, which one was this one again, honey?
That's it's clarity, I think. Yeah, it's that's clarity.
Clarity is in the crown chakra, so the clarity. And then I have the future, I have present, and I have air. So the air, which
air
makes
is where
sense
things are moving away from you. Okay, when
up.
you're looking at
everything is in the north.
Right, that's okay. When you're looking at that quadrant, you're sitting immediately opposite, right? That's winter on your board now. I mean, it rotates depending on where you put. So she's seeing the same thing. I have 3 stones in winter, and she's got all of hers in winter. I see the path forward and things happening during the fall that are going to lead us to understand the final ending of the changes.
Yep.
So
I think so too.
So
and it doesn't. It's her question, I think, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go.
Okay. I think your question was, is it bringing forth change in the future and everything? I think these two right here, we're going to start clearing the air. It was the first thing that came to me, was that the physical and the, which one is this one again? Physical and the.
Is it shiny or is that one?
Yes, shiny.
That's pyrite. That's pyrite. That's values.
Yep.
That's grounding.
Yep, grounding. So we're going to start breathing fresh air in
That's where I have it too. I have it in the winter. The grounding is in the winter.
Yep.
That's so much fun to roll with somebody else. And as I'm telling people, Sheila's going to come take my class.
Yes.
I have one more space.
I'm able to do that.
Yeah. I have, if you want a reading next week, I'm kind of open all week, so you can contact me through my website or through my email. But I looked at my angels and I said, oh God, how the hell did I end up with a week with like nothing? And they said, what do you mean nothing? You have to take all those 21 spots on the board and write them up. So that's what I'm, and as soon as I have that little workbook together with what all the spaces mean, and I realize they're really kind of dreamy images, but in doing the images, I found out that if there's a structure in a space, if I woke up in a structure or there was a structure there that was prominent in it, that structure is really us. That's our body containing the energy, and that the energy would all get resolved when you got outside, for the most part. And like my third eye was a village full of little huts that didn't have any windows or doors, but they were all fat, and I could tell things were going on in there, but my third eye was letting me see around them and understand all the energy around it. So
Nancy, I was going to say, being that you were talking about that, beginning to see something, my eyes are beginning to show me chakras, and I'm getting freaked out about it.
Oh, chakras are fun. That's the first meditations I had that worked for me.
I mean, I guess not chakras, like auras.
Oh, auras. Oh, okay, yeah. When I was younger, I could really see auras well, and then as I got more and more into the business world, I began to realize my walking around looking at everybody's auras was sort of an invasion of their privacy. So I can only see people's auras if they give me permission to. I just set my brain up that way. That doesn't mean, trust me, if somebody's nasty, burning up red, horrible, not just energetically red, but flaming red, I will, I'll sense that, but I don't see it. But, everybody comes alive their own way, and some people never see it.
Well, that's the thing is, it's like an automatic. That's been my journey with most of my spiritual growth. It just
happens.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see color around people, and I'm starting to see more color in my remote viewing as well.
Good.
So, what does that mean? Like, does this mean that my spiritual growth is morphing into something, or is this something that is just adding on? It's like it's always been there, and
clairvoyant means seeing clearly. So you're now seeing more clearly what used to be kind of fuzzy and foggy, and a lot of that has to do with trusting your own brain, your mental attitude, what it's pulling in, and you get clarity. I mean, it's like one of my favorite readings to remember was the guy who sat down and was like, ho, 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 and he was on a date, and he was like, oh, well, let's see if this works. The way I would read people is I say, what's going on around you for the next 3 months, which is, kind of a nice generic. And he goes, okay, what do I need to do in the next 3 months? And I go, is that really the question you want answered? Because always be very careful about what you ask. Because if you're an ethical reader, you'll tell him. And I laid down the cards. I looked across the table at him, and I'd never met this guy. And I said, you need to divorce your wife. And the woman who was on a date with him didn't know he was married. So it was interesting watching her go, and then I read about it. Yeah. Really wife. And the thing is that the problem was I could see it. She's a lovely lady. He's a great guy, but they'd been married 26 years and they'd grown apart. I mean, she stayed in the little town they came from. She was an artist. He was now traveling around. He was a big businessman. He needed to move to a bigger city. She couldn't move her. She was part of an art commune. So it was just, I said, just let each other go. But what I didn't say to him at the table, and because of the young woman that was there, was the reason he wouldn't let go was because he didn't want to give up his money. She'd been there all those years supporting him. He didn't want to give up his money. But I didn't tell him that part. But, when you trust your instincts enough to look at a complete stranger and say, you need to get divorced. And it was such a shock to him that he didn't deny it. He actually said, well, it's not as easy as you think. So he didn't even have the smarts to deny it and say, I don't know what's wrong with you, lady. Gather them cards up and go home.
When you catch them off guard, that's when they tell.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when they're honest to close.
That's true. That's true. Okay, I'm trying to.
What do we got next?
Okay, I'm listening. I'll let y'all know. Everybody who owns a garden will get a note about the garden. There's a couple people who are saying their husbands or their wives are in the same boat about looking for jobs. Okay,
it's a
we
transformation.
need to roll for Tammy's spiritual future. That's kind of a different
Thank you for inviting me. This is fantastic.
This is fun. This is fun.
All right, so what's the next question?
Tammy's spiritual future. Where should spiritual or psychic future?
Okay.
She's going through a lot of awakenings right now. I know that much.
Yeah. Tammy, have you been getting some your center chakra is giving you a lot of nauseous feelings?
She's been having a lot of physical feelings while this
Yeah,
is
she's
going
getting a lot of. I feel like right in through here, her chakra that is being in the
Mm-hmm.
middle, that is open, that is getting purged and opening up, is making her feel nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like it's going too fast for her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why, because I can definitely throw these rocks, but there's a reason why for it. Is because you have something coming up in your future that you need to be ready for. So that's
Right.
your intuition, your inclination, I guess, is from the back of who you are, is to fight, is
Mm-hmm.
fire. See, right here we have the body and we have the spirit in fire.
Mm-hmm.
We have it in earth. She's going to be grounded. I also have pyrite in water, so it has something to do with highly emotion. And we also have air. Actually, this one right here is right in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's going to have every element of her life.
I'm going to tell you that when a stone ends up in the middle, like she got clarity here, on yours she got the spirit. And when a stone lands on this or any of these corners where a bunch of information comes together, that's the stone you read is the most powerful. And that is a really powerful thing to have happen. It's your spirit's transforming, and yet it's not quite finished. It's really in the middle of it. I'm looking at
I've had
yours.
stomach issues for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's your chakras trying to clear you.
We both got mental for her and earth.
Yep, mental and earth.
And almost the same place. This is getting spooky. This happened the last time I read with somebody. We kept rolling things in all the same places. I guess that means it works. Final thoughts are coming. That one stone means final thoughts are coming on this situation. You're going to get clarity. You can be led astray by your own, how your body reacts to things, and that can lead you down false tracks. Don't go there. False actually doesn't, it means listen to your body for signals. And because something's around you, like your mind can mislead you, your spirit can mislead you, but your body, your gut level reaction is not going to mislead you. Okay?
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
You feel
more
anything
food
else?
Sensitivities. Yeah. Well, I feel like she does have a situation that's coming up, and I want you to understand that you're going to make it through. Everything's going to be fine. It's just that spirit and everything in your life is getting you prepared to get through this situation that's coming up. I do feel like it's going to be fiery, and it's going to be highly emotional because this one's in water.
What she says is she's developing more and more food sensitivities, and she's lost 25 pounds. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Food sensitivities. My awakening come through food sensitivities too. The day it's a change. Like one day I was able to eat a hot dog. The next day it made me sick. I couldn't eat hot dogs anymore. You know what I mean? I was able to eat donuts. Then the next day I wasn't able to eat a donut. It just made me sick and gave me a headache and all that. So this is absolutely your body. Your spirit isn't the only thing that awakens. It is your full and 100% vessel of every cell in your body that wakens up as well. So one day I was able to eat a bowl of ice cream. The next day, it took me to the bathroom. You know what I mean? It's just like that. It's just that cell awakening.
Yeah.
Now I still have. So yeah.
Okay, I have a couple other questions that are kind of several people are asking kind of the same things. One wants to know she's had a guide for years. She doesn't know how to communicate with her guide. And this may not be a roll of the stones. Talk to him. Talk to him. treat them like you would a friend.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It is definitely in the communication. The both the remember in a circle that the circle is the energy that has to keep on going all the time in order to keep that circle. If one portion of that circle stops, it becomes a sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't flow anymore. So here's what I've learned with my guides is they're gentlemen. Just think of them as gentlemen. They will not interfere into your life and what is going on unless you ask them, unless they are invited into each and every one of your situations. I think a lot of even me, and not maybe a lot of them, but I know my experiences. I would think I need spirit's help in this realm, but I've got the rest of this handled. And they're like, all right, we'll come here and here because you have invited us.
Mm-hmm.
But they will not pass that threshold over here because they're going to allow, and because free will is real, and they're going to allow you to do whatever it is until you invite them into that situation. So my mental practice and my physical practice to invite my guides into my life was literally every morning, please join me today.
Mm-hmm.
I go into the store, please join me today. Please,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I made an incredible, forcible um, practice of inviting them into every single part of my life, all of it. I didn't, and then I had that mental chipping away that I could handle this and I can do this on my own. Finally, is gone. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine. I don't think of anything in my life that I don't invite my guides or spirit in to help. And that it was my huge lesson was I cannot just walk around and go, so when are y'all gonna help me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that kind of attitude. Like, well, when you invite us, and
Right.
calm down, right?
And when you're
Calm
asked,
yourself down.
and when you're asking them for help, the other thing I always ask for is, am I asking the right question? Because sometimes they'll say, "Oh no, but you need to be looking over here."
Sorry.
That's okay. We're used to that in my channel. Um, we have a couple more questions. One woman wants to know if what she wants to do is depend on her family, but she always has to kind of go ask and beg for help, and she has friends who just help her. And we're going to look at the situation around you getting help. I'm going to tell you right now, you can make your own family. I mean, you got the one you had at birth, and then you can find the other people that come along who are more like what you expect a family to be like. That's where I'm in my life. I have my kids, but I don't have any other. I have one cousin and no other blood relatives that I'm close to. And I know people that go to family reunions where they have 100 people are related to. That's shocking to me. I wouldn't mind. Maybe I don't want to meet 100 of myself. That could be the other part. But what we're going to roll on, or what I'm going to roll on, is situation for getting help.
Yeah, I have several stories about that too.
Yeah.
Woo. Um,
She's an enthusiastic roller, kids.
yeah. Basically, I'm going to roll this one again.
Okay.
Okay. So the physical, the construct, and the enlightenment. Most of this is in the tree of life, ironically.
That's very good.
And then we have the body, and then we have, I think you said this one was spirit, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's purple.
Also,
it's amethyst. Yes.
Yep. And then we have the earth and the
mind.
moving forward,
mind.
and the mind. Yep, forward. So, do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
or
go.
Do you want to go
Mm-hmm.
first? Okay. So my thing is the tree of life, and then the enlightenment, meaning that if you know that they're not going to help, stop begging for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go talk to them. Don't go ask them if you know that they're not going to help. And the reason why I say that kind of like that is that I learned a long time ago. Each person brings something to your life. They are just not the ones. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not the ones. They're not capable of it. And that is where the earth and the moving forward, like ground yourself into who you are and know where you can gain help, know where you can go get help on that aspect. It's like somebody handing you, say, a a car that works, right? And then you have the car that works. These are all your friends that come help you and anybody else that comes help you. But while you're looking at this car, you can look at everybody else's car, like, why didn't they help? Why didn't they help? Why didn't they help? Why didn't they help? And you're just making yourself miserable. So if you know that they're not going to help, don't worry about it, because somebody else will. You'll always have help.
Yeah, and I think when you rely on your own spirit and how your body, with what I'm seeing on Sheila's board, it's also on here. When you rely on your own spirit and your own body, you are tuned into the universe and you feel happy. I think that may be part of the problem of going back to family. But what I saw is that you have in air, which is earth is where things are coming out of, water is where they're flowing away. The south is the past history and your past lives, or the things from this past life, and this is all things moving forward in this life. And mentally, your values are moving, and you don't want to have your path to abundance. To go back to your family, you have to go back to here, and that's being tied into something that's negative. You're really getting clear on this whole issue right now, which is why you wrote about it. You're going to get some synchronicities real soon in the future, some spiritual messages to explain to you what you need to do. But you got in restate, which is kind of an interesting spot in the garden. That's where you have to go in and you have to weed out the false things so that your life can really grow. So you need to let go of some of the false ideas you have about family.
Right.
And you've got friends. I mean, I feel like your future's bright. You just need to seize it and quit thinking they're going to make it better. Okay, now this is an interesting question, and we're almost done, kids, because we're at 46 minutes. Someone wants to know if the forest that she goes walking in gives her the right answers. So she's doing a nature walk as her spiritual journey. So I'm going to see about what it's like when you walk in the woods. What's the situation about you walking in the woods? Okay? You get out there and you get your clarity kind of goes away. But yeah, it's a great place for you to go. It opens up your third eye. It makes your spirit very, very present. You're learning your values. I think this may be sort of a new practice for you, and you're just beginning to learn to go out there and talk to nature and feel the trees and talk with them and communicate. That's what I see. What did you get, Sheila?
Well, ironically, you know how your eye, at the top of the eye and the bottom of the eye, can you see
Right.
what I'm trying to say? See where it landed?
Right.
This is the
Restate and past.
Yep. Right there. Right in the middle, it talks about that. So, and it also talks about the roots of the problem. So I have this feeling that sacred and roots, meaning that she's having to acknowledge her roots.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why when she goes into this forest that she walks through, that the roots are talking to her. You have to acknowledge where you came from. You have to acknowledge the issues. You have to acknowledge and accept what has happened in your roots of the whole situation. And so therefore, that's what's kind of getting her to the thing, like, can I just not listen to that? Can I just not hear that? Are they really telling me to look at my roots? Because that's the most important thing. And I also have the what is this one? The fire and
Restate.
Restate. What does restate mean?
Restate's where you go in, and when you've asked a question, you need to think of all the elements behind it and pull out the things you really need to look at. It's kind of when I had my vision of what it's like, I was like all of a sudden, oddly enough, in a very dark foresty place, very overgrown. And I was like, what's this? How is this? This doesn't look like a very well-kept garden. And it said, it's not. You need to go through. And all of a sudden I understood if I cleared away certain plants, then the plants I really needed to grow would have the space to.
Yes.
So it's a replenishment, it's a cleaning out, and it's a straightening up. It's not just letting whatever's fallen in there lie. You have to actively pull out the elements that are blocking the new growth.
Right, and I have a feeling that the reason why it landed on the sacred and the roots is because I think that she may be going through all
Something.
of the truths and the faults of her roots. Like, somebody told me this happened. That's not really what happened. We're gonna start clearing up some things, and we're gonna start telling the truth. And this is where the water and the earth shows up. Like, the grounding. Your body is getting grounded while it's there. You also have the emotional water. Which one is this one?
Your spirit, purple, amethyst.
Amethyst. So she has her body and her spirit lining up right here with water and earth, the lining up. And it is going to cause a few problems when you start saying, nope, that's not what happened. This is what happened. And there's where your truth. So every time you go into the forest there, yeah, you're connecting to the roots of everything that's in that forest. And I highly recommend sitting down and possibly meditating with them. And it's not like meditation. Just sit down and ask the questions of these roots. Roots, what is it you really trying to tell me? You will start getting information.
Yeah, and don't discount it. Don't think I just made that up. That just, if something comes in your head, it came there from maybe used
Correct.
words from your brain, but you should not ignore it. We got one more person who wants to know about the spiritual journey. Her spiritual journey, and it is for Stephanie. You like names. I don't need names, but it's for Stephanie's spiritual journey. I mean, everybody works different, guys.
Stephanie. What is the exact question number?
The exact question is, any messages about spirit for my spiritual journey or future? It's not too big a topic there at all. Oh yeah, girl.
I really like working with these. I really like working with these.
You know, we did it again, girl. Where's your Yellowstone?
It's in, is it in Falls or no?
No, okay. I was looking at my thing. I was going to say, we have stone in the same place. That's because I'm looking at my board. How clever of me. You guys, you can see what the class is going to be like. But I think we did get, you've got clarity.
I have root, I have faults, and I have future and present, both.
What stone is on the future? What's
the this one right here, the amethyst?
Okay.
That one's on future and present.
Present. Okay, that's her spirit. It's definitely means that she's progressing into the next phase.
Going forward. But she has roots probably. The roots, this one right here, I don't know why I can't remember this one. This is that one.
That's so light. That is your clarity.
Clarity.
Okay, next time you pick that stone up, say, why isn't this stone clear? Oh, because it's clarity.
Clarity.
Yeah.
Okay. Clarity. So her clarity is in her roots. Again, there's another somebody else in the wheel. This has been the whole thing. Roots, family, orientation, information, all of those roots that we have been dealing with, a lot of people have been dealing with. Clarity. So the clarity in her roots is kind of what holds her back sometimes, and that's why she feels like she's slugging along, like slugging through the mud, and it's because of not acknowledging the roots again, getting in there and finding the truths, pulling out the truths, and acknowledging the truths of your roots. We also have both the body and this one's, what is this one? The
pyrite grounding your values.
Yep. So in truth, so your body and the pyrite are in truth. So this makes sense. The roots, get your body and your mind in truth. You're definitely going forward, future, and present. And the faults has been the which one is the yellow one?
That's her mind. She tells herself all the worst crap she hears.
Yep. The worst crap that your mind. So purge yourself from these false ideas is the best way to do that before going forward. So this is the reason why you're feeling like because false ideas will slow you down.
Yeah, and if you think, if your roots tell you have to take the whole cornfield with you, and you know you only need one plant. I mean, think about it. This is like the Ten of Wands time. It's time to shed. But what I see is your spirit's emerging, your mind's moving really, really forward in its own way rapidly. The biggest problem you have is getting your body to go along with the program, to physically feel it. You need to part of your problem, and this would tie up with what she said about being too tied to your roots, you need to go through and weed out in your value system and in your clarity what's holding you back. The only person who can go back and get rid of those things is you. But you're on a spiritual journey, no doubt. You're feeling things. And that was Stephanie.
No doubt.
That was Stephanie, and now we're going to go down.
Is Stephanie? Can you give us a little like yay or nay? Does that make any sense for
Yeah,
you?
my system's a little slow sometimes that way. A couple people are suggesting that they've gotten really into meditation and doing some hypnosis with positive affirmations, and they're finding that's very helpful for moving them forward.
You know, I'm not a person who can sit down and hold my hands and do meditation. I've never have been. I am a highly functional, like I have to be in action all the time. My meditative state is either doing, like if I'm cleaning or if I'm gardening or something like that, that's where I meditate. And because my physical thing is mechanical. I can do that whatever I'm doing, and then I meditate and do that. So if somebody's having problems just sitting down for an hour or something like that meditating, if that doesn't work for you, go do something like
I knit,
cleaning or whatever. Yeah, knit. Yeah, see, there's those actions that you can do.
That you have to, takes a while, and it's what's fun about knitting is if you learn a new stitch. Like I worked for 3 hours the other night in a new stitch, and I went, I need to sleep on this, and the next day I could just pull the needles up and do it. So it's a lesson in how to use your time. Somebody wants to know about gastric bypass surgery. Do you want to do that with cards, or you want to do that with the stones? I hate doing health questions with the stones because I'm not that sure of them yet.
What is exactly the question? Is it
she's having gastric bypass surgery in 2022, and she's going to see if it's going to be successful. So I'm grabbing the closest tarot deck I have, and it's the Housewives Tarot, which I think is a wonderful deck. Reminds me of my youth because it's all 50. I
don't remember that. Sometimes I pick up cards that I just don't remember where I got them from. Everybody's like, "Where'd you get them?" I'm like, "I don't know."
What's your card for her?
This one here is the Lily, the card of transience. The transience, the lily, the white lily is a bright and enjoy while you may. Your bloom will. Your bloom will fail, for all must fade away. This is talking about the weight, her weight.
That's her weight, because I got a really good yes for you. I got the 5 of Pentacles, and this is your weight has something that separated you from other people, and that's upset you, and you've come to this conclusion you want to get out and be with people and meet up with them. You found a good surgeon. I actually got the surgery card, the Page of Swords. And he knows all the tools, because it's not just that they put in the bypass, it's following all the tools and using all the skills and life skills they give you, including reworking your mind. There was a book that I read when I had 2 of my children go through gastric bypass surgery, and I read a book called Same Mind, Different Stomach. And it was about how even though you fix your stomach up, you still have that same brain. It had lots of things to help them. But your out card is the 9 of Cups, so it's going to be whatever you want to make of it. So that looks good, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I also got the card of intensity, fly too close, and what falls back. Also talking about the weight. So I think she's definitely going to come away. I have dogs barking in my background, of course. But yeah, I think it's going to work. I think you're going to enjoy. I think all of your stuff. And here's something that I've heard with people who lose weight, and I'm pretty sure Nancy can attest to this. But each layer that you lose has an emotional attachment to it. So just be aware of that. That each layer that you use, if you put it on over this emotion, you put more weight on for this emotion or this situation. So as you're backing out of all of that weight and going and all those layers coming off, it's also going through all of those emotions again. They're not going to be as intense, so don't freak out. but just be aware of it.
And
Right.
I did it backwards, Sheila. I did the whole good mind, bad mind. Why had I put this weight on? And I'd kind of gone through a whole laundry list of them. And so, as those ghosts, what I call ghosts from Christmas past, would show up and say, well, I'm here now. I'm going to bring up this trauma. And I'd say, no, you're gone. I mean, I'd already kind of thought my way through it. I'm a real big believer in working with programming your mind. Actually, at one point, I had a good brain thoughts and bad brain thoughts. And for every bad brain thought, I think of what was its corollary that would be on the bright side. And eventually, when the bad brain thoughts would show up, I'd go, no, I know what I'm supposed to say, what works with this. And eventually, they'd kind of drift away. And so that overeating doesn't look nearly as exciting. I can guarantee you, I used to weigh 300 pounds. And a part of that... oh God. Okay, guys, we got a troll in here writing obscene things.
Do you have any moderators?
No.
I would do Sharon Sipe. She's a great moderator.
Okay.
You can find her her name and make her a moderator.
She's there. She's here. How do I make her a moderator? Click on her thing.
Click on her name, and then it should bring up options, and then you can It says moderator. If you do it on your YouTube channel.
Oh, it's not.
So do you
just ignore? His name is Peter, which is appropriate for what he's writing about. So just ignore Peter, please.
Can you bring up your YouTube channel and watch the chat from your YouTube channel?
No. Not the way the computer. Oh, I could, I guess, on my phone.
Yeah, do it on your phone.
Okay.
Because it's really important that he does it, because he'll just take over and then he'll go after everybody in the chat as well, whoever it is. So if you go onto your YouTube through your phone and then just click on her name, you can make her a moderator. Let me see if there's anybody else in here that I recognize that could be a moderator. But Sharon Sipe is fantastic.
Okay. Okay, here I got her. Add moderator. I just added Sharon. If you can go find that little turkey.
Yeah. So then she'll be able to go after her. And is there anybody else in the chat?
No, that's the only. That's the first. That's like the third person I've ever had show up with say anything weird. Okay. Except people. This is Sheila. It is Sheila from Celtic Tarot. They put that you're another reader. The other reader has dark hair. Sheila has lovely gray flowing locks. So get it straight, guys.
They're thinking that I'm lilac.
No, they think you're lilac.
Well, thank you. That's a wonderful.
It's a wonderful compliment, but I mean, how they could confuse you is like, I mean, I know they don't confuse me with anybody because I got purple hair, but.
Well, who knows? Lilac could have went gray all of a sudden. You never know.
Well, she might be gray now, and we just don't know the truth.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. What do I find?
So
okay.
Sharon, if you want, Sharon, go ahead and Sharon, if you want to post so that we'll make sure that she made you.
Yeah, Sharon, I did make her a moderator. I saw it. It's on my phone. Okay. Hi, Alicia. Everybody's cheering Sharon on.
Woo-hoo! She is a troll slayer.
Good. The only troll I have, when I was first on YouTube, I was talking to my grown son and his son. I was running a show and I said, "Where's my grandson?" He said, "Oh, he's in his room doing his homework." I said, "No, he's not. He's trolling me." I have screenshots of it. It's hysterical. His spelling is not so good, so you can tell that. And he hid his name. He used his sister's name. He said, "Hi, I'm a troll. You need a troll." And it was TROL. And he said, "This is da-da-da," his sister's name, Bro. Well, what an obvious, hard to tell who he was, right? That was my troll. Before now.
All right. So
and people are talking about going out and walking around the trees and doing all that stuff. Oh, somebody fessed up to the one they thought you were the other person. The Canadian who's had it hotter up there. It was hotter in Canada than it was here. That's ridiculous.
That's unusual. Oh, maybe Sharon went to
Black and orange. Yeah. Well,
that's which is normal. She probably toggles back and forth.
Mm-hmm. So, in closing, usually I pull a card for closing.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull, unless you have a question you want to ask or a question about the garden.
No, just keeping my memory straight of which rock is which. That's all my problem is. I think I really do feel connected to this. I really feel intuitively, fantastically wonderful with this. So
Good.
Just letting you know.
Well,
that
you'll know
really
you'll know the stones by the end of the class, and see, everybody's is different. Like your pyrite, the shiny one that you can't ever remember. Look at how differently shaped it is than mine, but it's shiny. And
yeah, mine has like a pointer, like it's like pointing to something.
Yeah, and my spirit has a point on it, and and yours is like a lump, the purple one, the one you keep saying, what is it?
What is that? Well, it's this one right
Yeah,
here.
that's that's your amethyst, because it's crystalline.
Amethyst. It's this one that I can't remember. It has the blue cobalt.
That's the sodalite.
Sodalite. That's the one I can't. It's like, what is this one again? I can't even think about it.
Yeah, it would work there, and the other one is greenish, and it's sparklier, and it's fusite.
Body.
And that's the fairy stone.
The body.
Yeah, and I sent them to one guy who you and I both know, and he's a little bit colorblind, and he could never get he couldn't get it to read, and then he called me, and I said, that's because you've got clarity in the wrong place. So he worked it out. He figured out, he learned their shapes. I mean, I know stones really well, but it's, I have to look at them twice too. But they do come. Now, yours weren't, but now when people get their kits, each of these stones is marked with a color on the back that matches on their reader sheet, so that they know which one's which one. Because it never occurred to me I might be sending blue and green stones to someone who is colorblind.
Yeah.
That's how we learn. Sheila's got prototypes. Sheila got 2 prototypes because one went away and disappeared for a month in the mail.
And then it came back.
On the same day as the other 2?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, look it.
Okay, our card for the day from the flowers is nasturtiums, which is grounding, the beginning of where you need to be. It's being grounded is the beginning of where you need to be.
And I pulled from the Moonology.
Oh,
with
cool.
Barking Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
The Moonology. My Moonology one is Believe in the Impossible.
Yep.
Let me see, right here. Maybe it's better here.
That's good.
Believe in the impossible. I believe that my dogs will stop barking one day.
Oh, yeah, I've given up on London. He's up in his kennel anyway. Remember, guys, if you want a key to learn how to work with the key and you want to be gifted with a key, I'm going to be gifting away 3 keys to people, and I will attach to it the explanation sheet of how to move forward with keys and how to unlock those doors in your future. I want to say thank you to Sharon is here watching, and she's doing her thing. Thank you all so much. Thank you to Sharon for showing up and helping. We have quite a few viewers. This is kind of an odd time of day, and if my numbers are right, by tonight about 400 people will have watched what we've done today. And I really am glad to get Sheila to come and show a different side. Sheila's one of the first readers that I ever met because I did a grid for her, and I told her I can read. Yeah, that one back there, right behind her. I said, I can read, but I'm not going to read on politics. And she said, oh, you'll never make it. Everybody has to read on politics. And I was like, no. And because I like to help people with this side of their growth, there's plenty of time for fear and worry. We need more enlightenment, learning how to move forward. So, and
Oh my goodness, did I really say that to you?
yes, you did. You
Oh.
said you can't. You said it doesn't matter. It's what they want to hear. And I said, well, I'm going to teach them to listen differently. And my first time,
I'm
the
so
first
sorry.
week, the first week, my net. Oh, dear, I'm too old to care about any of that. But the first week that I was up, and I said, I'm not doing politics. I had praise the Lord and everything else put on my site. Thank God, And I will tell you one thing, guys, that I appreciate the readers who do politics, because the energy in politics, you don't understand how much when we reach out and feel into the universe what we feel. And politics is so dualistic. It's so black and white. It's so 3D. It's really, really hard. And so I'm a chicken shit. I don't go there. I just go off into the realm of spirit. But, and that's why the garden doesn't work well for yes, no, dualistic questions. And it doesn't read politics at all.
It
And
doesn't.
I know you're not the only one who's told me that I can't get it to work.
I mean, I have tried. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to see, and then it was like, I was like, oh no, this is not for politics at all.
It's for our to take a view of the world from the 4D, 5D perspective, with compassion, with love, with spirit, with how can we improve? How can everyone improve no matter what?
Right.
And I'm going to do a quick ad for a book, because I know a lot of the people who watch my channel. There's a woman her last name is Bloom. She's an author. She was a spy interpreter, informational person for DOD and CIA. She's written a book called Pastels and Pedophiles, and it's about the Russian disinformation program to win women into believing all the crazy stuff that's in QAnon. And she not only does she say how it happened, she works with deprogramming people. So she's like how you can start to weed your family members away from those false narratives. I had a friend who read it who's kind of in that problem with her own sister right now. And she said, I'm going to try doing that stuff with her. I was ready to walk away and just never talk to her again. I'm willing to try and give this system a chance. I know a lot of us have people like that in our lives. We don't want to let them go. We don't want to give them up. I don't have them in my life because I just disowned them years ago. But I really did. That's true. I have 3 brothers. We don't talk. But and I'm not going to go reprogram them because they were not pastels into pedophilia. But if that's a problem, that might be a book you can kind of just go read a review on it. I think it's something that's so needed to help us understand communication and disinformation.
Wow.
So, goodbye, guys. I'm gonna cut everybody off. Gonna end this show, end this stream. Thank everyone who showed up. Remember to like, share, subscribe to my channel. YouTube took 10 away, and then they gave them back last night. I have no idea.
I know this is just purging. I've been experiencing that. Everybody does experience this 10 to 15. They kind of fluctuate. And what they do is they get rid of all the bots.
Yeah. And then they find 10 more the next night. I know.
Yep.
Anyway, so thank you, Sheila. You'll be welcome again any other time. And thank you to all my loyal followers. Remember, tomorrow I will not be on the air. I am taking a day off because this was day 25.
Well deserved.
So I'm going to go get my hair cut and I'm going to go relax.